You want to a life transforming experience as Pastor Prince Abah brings you God's Word with deep insight and power. God bless you.
It's like you're reckless, you know. There's some who even do it weekly. They know everything that enters my hand, a portion of it is for my father's honor. Because it's my father. The Bible says a son honoreth his father. One mark of a son is honor. It's not talk. It's not talking like, it's not shouting. It's not wearing suit. It's not following him around. That's not sonship. A son honoreth his father. If you don't honor your father, you are a bastard, not a son. Who is your father? Show me your honor. I will show your father. A son honors. You see these things I've mentioned? When you see a son, these are the things that Abah doesn't know this. Ebony doesn't know this. That's why you don't see sons that I imagine. You don't see ministries that are rising. Because we don't understand the patterns of God and how God builds. What destroyed Gehazi? Dishonor and greed. What destroyed Judas? Dishonor and greed. What made Elisha? Honor. Service. He collected the double portion. There are two powerful graces your father carries. Number one is a prophetic grace. And number two is a patriarchal grace. For instance, you have a problem, you have issues and difficulties, you want to get a breakthrough, you want God to open new doors for you, you want certain things to begin to work for you, you want to enter certain realms and get certain things, maybe a contract, you're trusting the hand of God to move. Yeah. You come with a prophetic seed and connect with your pastor or your father, you get a prophetic grace for that miracle you're expecting. You know, some of you have battles, you don't know how to exchange that battles for a testimony. Some of you have issues in your family, you have issues in your personal life, in your financial life. You don't know how to exchange it. You don't know how to turn it around with a prophetic seed. And get a prophetic grace to solve it. That's one. But there's a second one. And this is the main one. Most people don't go for this one. Some who go to give their father seed go to get prophetic unction. And it's what you want that you get. Your father can't give you what he wants. It's what you demand. That's why I usually hear the Bible say, ask anything you want in my name and it shall be given. It's not anything I want in my name, I will give it to you. No. It's anything you want. Even Elisha that they built a house for, that Shunammite woman. Simple question. Elisha asked Gehazi, what should we do for her? There must always be that, what do you want? Jesus will ask the man by the pool of Bethsaida, so would thou be made whole? And the man will say, I have no mind. He said, that's not the question. Will thou be made whole? What do you want? That I may receive my sight. So some people come just wanting breakthrough for certain things, areas in their life. And that's what they end up getting. But there are some who come for the second thing. What are they looking for? It's not breakthrough. They are looking for the blessing. That is where patriarchal grace is. They want to carry what makes that man. They're not just looking for. At that level, yeah, you also get breakthroughs. So physical, material things also come. But beyond that one, what happens to you is that something is planted inside you that generates all the things that you call breakthrough. That thing that causes it happen settles in you. Prophetic grace is like plugging an orange fruit and giving you now. You take it, the next minute you need more fruit. I go and plug again and give you. And then patriarchal blessing that comes from patriarchal honor, not prophetic giving. Patriarchal honor. You come in your heart, I'm going to honor my pastor for being my father. And then he places hands on you and pronounces a blessing. Like Isaac said, to Esau. He said, go and get me game. Go and get game. Get me venison and give me such as I have, such as I like. He said, and then I will bless you from my soul. Prophetic blessing can come from the mouth, not patriarchal. Patriarchal comes from the soul. I remember when I had my wedding, my pastor was praying for me and my wife, and we knelt down. I listened to him each time he prayed. I hear him each time. When he was praying, we knelt down. He laid hands on my head. I said, now I confer on you the patriarchal blessing. He said, all the days of your life, no one will be able to defeat you. I don't go for the prophetic alone. I go for that one. That one I need it to clear some immediate things. Sometimes patriarchal blessing is not just to use and clear things. Patriarchal blessing is the institution of the mantle. It's instituting the mantle of your father inside you. That when you reach your river Jordan, it's no breakthrough you need there. You need the hand. The authority of your father to show there, to part that Jordan river. So to carry this thing, you see tapes, don't play with it. You see serving your father, don't play. Every time you have opportunity to serve him with all your heart, something will flow, some grace will flow. Then you see honoring him, you don't do that. You should go be a wise follower. Go home and make a decision. Write it on paper. This is my decision. Put it where you be seeing it. Every month or every week, this percentage of my income goes to him. I get 10,000. This is the one that is going to my father as honor. And it's a consistent thing. Monthly. Sometimes the reason you don't honor your father is because you are considering the amount. If your level, for instance, is 1 million and you're bringing me 1,000, I should send you to hell. That's dishonor. That's no longer honor. But if your level is 1,000, for instance, and it's sincerely your level, and you're bringing me this 200 or 500, I know this is this guy's level. This is where he is now. But if that's what you should be and that's what you're giving me, I'll kill you too. You should have left this level by now. How long will you be here? That's why your finances are still grounded. So you can't do any major thing in the kingdom because you are not plugging in. There's power in the transformer, but your house is black, dark, no lights. You've been disconnected. Honor is how you connect and keep the current flowing. The grace that is working within that man flows continuously. It flows continuously. You will be a fountain. You know, the blessing, the Bible says, what maketh rich and adds no sorrow. That pronouncement that comes from the soul, not the one that comes from mouth, that pronouncement is powerful. It's an empowerment. You don't see it maybe as money. It's not that the man takes money and give you, but it's a deposit inside you that causes anything you lay your hands to do to prosper, that causes favor to follow you, that causes your doors to open, that causes your gates to remain open, that causes things to happen for you. Children usually don't understand the importance of these things. When a person wants to enter sonship, this is what you must. Then the guy breaks into another level. Then you now see a multiplication of grace in people. You see men carrying what their father carries, and they become extensions. They become dangerous men in different territories of the world. This is how you process and you raise such men. So you want to get on this journey, switch, start doing these things I'm showing you. You will see membership will die. Discipleship, disciple maker. When you start staying on the tips of your father, for instance, I tell you what will happen. You begin to bear the burden of his heart in your heart. The burden, yeah. tapes alone can transfer the burden of your father to you. You just, because as you're hearing his voice, sometimes it's not what he's teaching, it's what is a burden traveling through his voice. He begins to, something begins to enter you. You begin to feel like a fuse. You begin to pant as he pants. Something in you begins to wake up to the calling of this mandate. Something in you begins to rise up to the challenges of this mandate. Because as you listen to him, it's not just the voice you were hearing, it's not just the information you were receiving, you were also receiving spirits. The spirit of just men made perfect. You're also receiving the mantle of that house. That's when some of you can now rise up and see that a new wave of passion just entered you. You just see that, you are now passionate about soul winning because there's the burden for souls inside this man entered you. Some of you just see wisdom just transfer. It's not just hearing pastor's message. I'm talking about soaking it. Like this is your gari and milk with granite, soaking it. Soaking it. It's not playing it by the side and washing plates. No. It's creating special. You lie down, soak it. Soak it. Then the thing clothe you. And sometimes it's soaking it and soaking it again. And soaking it and pause. And at the point, bless and pause and pray it into your spirit. Then replay again and soak it again. Until some of you said you need to even start cramming the word. You play it, even places where I sneeze. You stop there and sneeze the same thing. Maybe one poverty will sneeze out of your life. Maybe one kind of thing will sneeze. It's a spiritual thing. This is not one secular thing we're talking. You know the Bible says the words I speak to you, they are spirit and they are life. So the things I'm saying here and the things you're hearing through my tapes are not just information. They are spirit. They can take out darkness. They can take out demons. Because you know the lady I heard was traveling. I think a man rather. A guy was traveling in his vehicle, and the vehicle flipped. Tire busted, vehicle flipped, and began to somersault. And somersaulted, and the tape of his pastor, Bishop David, was playing. He kept somersaulting and landed in a ditch. This was a death experience. He said he was already passing. He said he saw his spirit leaving his body. This was the testimony of the guy. His spirit was leaving his body in that vehicle. But as the spirit was leaving, he could still hear the tape of that man playing. And if the tape was playing, it was at a point where the man was already prophesying. And he was saying, no death can take you. He said, you shall not die. You shall live. He said, anyone here who is under the spell of death, I rebuke that spirit. That was the exact tape playing. He got to that point. The tape, that was what he was saying. He says his body was living. He now saw an angel standing, pointing him, get back to your body. He said when he looked, the angel wearing white was his pastor. He said he looked, he saw an angel standing, all clothed in white. When he looked at the man's face, who he saw there was his pastor saying, get back to your body. And he rushed back into his body, only to find that people had come to help pull the body, but now he's alive. He's not dead. He was dead, but the body we're pulling was supposed to be a dead body, but the spirit had gone back. Do you know a man called Samuel was sleeping, but he was hearing somebody calling him Samuel, Samuel. It was God though that was calling him, but with the voice of his father Eli, that he was always going back to the father's room to find out if he was the one calling, until Eli now decoded, oh, God is using my voice to call this guy, because God doesn't break protocol. The voice God is going to use to unshell your destiny is the voice of your father. The more you listen to his voice, the more you become a voice to your word. The more the treasures in you are compelled to come out. The voice of your father is not just tape you are listening to. That voice is calling the deep inside. That voice is calling the giant inside. That voice is calling the giant killer on your inside to emerge. The Bible says that my sheep, I know my sheep, and my sheep, they hear my voice. You see the way it works? The shepherd knows his sheep. How does he know that? He watches to see his character in them. He watches to see his DNA in them. That's how he knows them. But how does a sheep know their shepherd? Not by his character, not by his discipline, not by his dressing, not by his anointing, not by his eloquence of speech. That's not how you should design your shepherd. The sheep knows you by watching the traits and the fruit you manifest. This DNA looks like my DNA. That's how he knows that's his son. Then how does the son know his father? It's by his voice. It's by his voice. It doesn't matter if I'm wearing rag here. If I'm standing by the gate and I'm naked, it doesn't matter if I came with keke, it doesn't matter if I came with okada. Once I open my mouth and call your name, another man may come with a G-Wagon and call your name. You know who your father is. You detect your father by his voice, not by what he drives. That's why many sons are chasing after clouds today in ministry. They want to go and snap with celebrity, popular pastor. Those days you were small, when we were playing football, and your father come out with rapper and call your name, Ikenna. Don't you know his voice? Don't you respond? Do you say that is wearing rapper? That's not my father. You don't use what he's wearing to know him. You eat his voice. Somebody shout the voice. Yeah. That's where to go and plug in your ear now. You want to know the voice that is making you. You want to know the voice that is unshelling you. You want to know the voice that is calling the deep inside of you. You want to know the voice that is awakening the sleeper in you. When you lose the voice of your father, you can't escape the voice of the serpent. That's what killed Eve and killed Adam. They lost the voice of the father. So a strange voice began to speak. In that movie, Melin, I like that episode where Melin had to call that egg by name, a Tusa, and the white egg broke, and the white dragon emerged, and he's been there for 400 years. Many people will be buried in destiny years until the voice that unearths their destiny begins to talk. And it's your role and your duty to plug your ear to that voice. God has given you that voice here. It's what you do with it that decides whether it uncovers the hidden you. Of course, the last stage is sonship. There are too many things there, you know. You say, unto us a son is born, unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given. It now says, and the government shall be on his shoulder. Sons are the ones that you put kingdom duties and responsibilities. It's not sweeping church that is the government we're talking about. It's not ushering. It's not joining MVP. It's not joining choir. We're talking about territories. It's sons you share nations to. Psalm chapter 2. He said, you are my son. Today is your birthday. He said, ask of me nations as a prize and continents as a present, and I will give it to you. Sons are not giving cake on their birthday. Sons are giving nations as birthday gifts. It's children you give cake to. Sons are not giving cars on birthday. Sons are not giving houses as birthday gift. What you give sons in the kingdom are territories, and nations, are continents, are cities. They go there and possess it as inheritance. The reward you give a son for going through the process and emerging into that phase is a city. That's how you tell them, well done. Now take this and rule over it. Don't you know, even on that day where we would appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that the reward is going to be given us at the reward of nations. He will say, well done, not welcome. It's well done. So they are interested in what you did here for the kingdom. They're not interested in how you were doing. You're not interested in what you were wearing, your career, and your business, how much you made. It's how did you use all that to serve the purpose of the kingdom? So you appear there. What God is going to be sharing is not new car, new house. No. What He's going to be giving us is nations. You have been faithful in this. Now take this city and rule over it. Take this nation and rule. Have you not read it in your Bible? That we're going to reign with Christ. The reigning we are talking about, there's no reigning inside car. It's not reigning inside an office. It's reigning in nations. Somebody shout nations. Shout nations are my inheritance. The men who will go into territories and reclaim it for God are not children. They are men who have grown through discipleship making, through trainings, through discipline, through chastisement, through brutal instructions. Hello, somebody. Oh yes. Until you reach there, no government is coming on your shoulders. And you see, for carrying that government, for ruling over nations, for ruling over territories, there are things you are called. They say you shall be called wonderful. You shall be called counselor. Why? Because only sons can counsel kings. He says he shall be called Prince of Peace. Put him in a warring environment, he will bring peace there. Put him in a nation where there's distress. They say this city and that city is fighting. Prince of Peace have come. He knows how to mediate over conflicting societies, and it brings peace. Go and read your Isaiah chapter 61 and you will see the things that happens to a man who has become a tree. He repairs cities. He settles the desolation of many years, of generations. That's why I look at campuses and I design a curriculum to solve their problem. Sonship. That's why I look at the whole state government. I look at the whole Nigeria, a whole Africa continent, and I design a program to solve the entire problem of the nation, of the continent. Sonship. Our appetite changes. How we see things changes. What we ask for change. So why a child is looking for a job, for instance, in a nation, a son is looking for how to solve the problem of unemployment in the nation. They are two different people. They might be looking alike, have the same beards, wear the same clothes. They are not the same people. How you know them is check what they are hungry for. Oh, who can stand against the Lord? No one can. No one will. Who can stand against? Who can stand against the Lord? Open up your mouth and sing it. No one can. No one will. Oh, oh, oh. Victory belongs to Jesus. Victory belongs to you. Oh, oh, oh. Victory belongs to Jesus. Victory belongs to Him. There is a clarion call that is being heralded, and that call is compelling you to grow up. Let me close in 1 minute. I'll read you this scripture, and that's all I'll do. I will pray and go. The onus is yours. The duty lies on you. Numbers chapter 14. Two different people I'm going to show you here now. You choose the one you want to be. There is a spirit that makes sons, and there's a spirit that makes children. Oh Lord, I feel like I shouldn't get into this. Okay, verse 1, chapter 14, Numbers. And all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and the people wept that night. And all the children of Israel murmured against Moses. Underline, all the who? All the who? Now, why were they murmuring against Moses? In the previous chapter, Moses had sent 12 tribes to go and spy. He had sent 12 men to go and spy the land of Canaan. So they came back, and the Bible said they came back with very evil reports. So they said the land was indeed flowing with milk and honey. But they said, we can't enter. You see, children can't enter anywhere. The people who were the spies were even leaders of the different camps, different tribes, and different groups of Israel. So they say, choose for yourselves leaders that we will send to go and check. And you can imagine, the people they sent, 10 out of them came with bad reports. So that means those 10 guys were children all along. They were not leaders. They were wearing suit, but they were not leaders. How you know a child is check his response in the presence of challenge. Check his response in the presence of a difficulty. Check how he responds when things are not working fine. Check how he responds when there are no resources to handle a thing. Check how he takes instruction. That's when you know you're dealing with a child. He said, and all the children of Israel murmured, because they are children, against Moses and against Aaron. And the whole congregation said unto them, would God that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would God we had died in this wilderness? Are you seeing their complaint? Is it that God wants us to die here? Is it not better he allowed us die in the wilderness? Or he allowed us to die in Egypt? Why is he trying to get us into a place where we will die by the hands of our enemies? And wherefore had the Lord brought us into this land? To fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should be a prey. Were it not better for us to return to Egypt? Are you seeing these people? Where you came out from, you saw God's mighty hand. Yet that's where you want to go back to the land of your oppressors. And they said one to another, let us make a captain and let us return to Egypt. That means Moses, we don't care about you. Aaron, go to hell. Let's get a captain like us, a child like us, who will take us back to Egypt. When a child is a leader, you see crisis. Of course, you see why these children reacted like this. Because who is leading is also a child. The 10 spies who came with this evil report are all children. Because when the leader is courageous, he infects his followers with the same spirit. When a leader is positive, he infects his followers with the same spirit. When a leader is fearless, he passes on the same spirit to his followers. If you're leading and you don't have confidence, you're going to generate followers who don't have confidence. If you're leading, you don't have self-esteem, that's what you're going to raise. If you're leading, you don't have a possibility mindset, you're going to raise cowards. You're leading and you're fearful, you're going to raise fearful people. This is what you must get. You need to understand that you're a leader. Stop following as a follower. Follow as a leader. That's why Paul, I like what he said. He said, follow me as I follow what? Christ. You need to follow me as a leader. Don't follow as a follower. Don't follow as a leader. The things which you see me do, attempt it. As I lead people, attempt leading people. As I lead you, attempt leading others. As you see me speak faith, attempt faith. As you see me do visionary things, attempt it. You see me walk on waters, attempt it. You see me giving in millions, attempt it, my friend. Attempt it. Attempt it. It's not just for your leader alone. I and the sons that God has given to me. The Bible says we are meant for signs and wonders. True leadership does not just empower the leader, it also empowers the ones under him. It's not just the leader that is meant for signs and wonders. It's that I am the children the Lord has given me. They are meant for signs and wonders. So as the Father is performing miracles, so does the children. As the Father is breaking new ground, so does the children. As the Father is going to nations, so does the children. As the Father is taking territories, so does the children.
For the continuation of this message, please play the next track.